Hi, guys. Welcome to the Greatest Type Girls podcast. We are on part 2 of the dating series of 3. We have already released the first one. It was a lot of fun. First podcast was just a bunch of girls or 3 girls. Today, we have an equal amount of women as we do men. We are going to discuss all different types of topics on dating, little online dating focus centered. But sky's the limit. So welcome and thanks for joining us. Introduce ourselves. We will start with Jesse to my right.
Hey, I'm Jesse. Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for
What do I
being here.
do? I'm a spin instructor, fitness professional. I teach boxing to people with Parkinson's. I teach a spin class.
awesome.
It's a pretty amazing program, 413 Fitness. Check it out. And I also drive Uber. So I am all over the city. I'm a tour guide, drone enthusiast. I do a little bit of everything.
Super
Nice.
cool.
That is
Yeah.
nice.
Thanks for being here.
Yep.
Awesome.
I
Are
don't
you
feel
okay?
like I'm as cool as he is, actually.
You are very cool.
My name
This
is
is Sean.
Sean. Yeah, I am. My name is Sean. I'm actually from a little bit smaller town myself. I grew up small town, like I said. Started my professional career in medicine, and I got tired of medicine and decided to jump into roofing. And now I have a business in roofing, and I wanted to see what everybody's idea was on the dating scene over here in North Austin compared to where I'm from. So I'm here today for that reason.
Cool. And Melissa.
And I'm back, guys. Melissa. I introduced myself the last one, but nursing background. I do marketing and just here to kind of figure it all out and get some male perspective this time.
that
Let's see.
was a lot of
It
feminine
was.
energy. But
It
it was
was.
fun. It was
And you know
fun.
what? I just want to start by saying the whole coffee thing. I got so much shit about the coffee. So I'm not talking going coffee like in just your sweats and stuff. I mean, I would dress up for a coffee date, and I don't know if y'all got the whole thing. I normally do coffee dates because it's easy. If you want to kidnap me or take my kidney, I can bolt out the door a little faster. Like it's not, the commitment's not there. So I just want to say that. I will never do a coffee date again now because I got so much shit. But it wasn't going just like a crazy, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you put some effort into it.
Was your coffee date like a meet and greet, or was your
Yeah,
actually
with the meet
then
and
you
greet.
went to-
Yeah, it was
Deals,
it was just a kind of introduction. But I just want to say that, people, I get dressed up for a coffee date. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Which we just segued right back into that. Okay, so
Sorry.
you know what I gathered from that last podcast, and thank you guys all for watching it before you got here so you know where we're jumping on. Look, ultimately, I think my theory is simply this. If in regards to, if you're not meeting anyone like at the organic department
Like we were talking
of,
about, yeah.
what was it?
Whole Foods.
Yeah, the organic
And,
out of Whole Foods.
If you're not meeting people organically and you are on dating apps, hoping that works for you because we're now in a modern time.
Right.
Here's what I surmised. I don't like meet and greets because they're a waste of my time. Period. It's a waste of time. And it's not about the little bit of time that you invest by going to the coffee for 15 minutes and being like, I don't like this guy's kind of creepy. For me, there's a whole like getting ready, figuring your outfit. And even if you're just going in some sweats, like you're still going to kind of like do your hair
Organize
and makeup. You're going to get your shit together. So no meet and greet, Bato. Sorry.
What do
We're
y'all
not
think?
doing that because, hold on. Because you could do the meet and greet with the phone now. I know you said you don't do snap face.
Well, the problem with the meet and greet is you don't know if Kermit the Frog or Miss Piggy or SpongeBob is going to show up.
Why don't you call and make a video call?
Well,
You can
You
overdo
can.
that too, though.
you can.
You can. You can be like getting to the point of when do we just go hang out, right? I hear you on the meet and greet, but you got to try. Is it the
But I think it should
baseline
be a
of
full
coffee
date.
that you don't like? You want a full date? What's a full date? What's your
Maybe
baseline
lunch
expectation?
instead of coffee?
A lunch, a dinner, or like a fun thing
If
where
I
it's
invited you to a
interactive?
walk, what would your reaction be?
I would go.
Good.
Yeah.
Because it requires like some time and interaction.
We might
And you
stop
know-
for a smoothie. You
That's
don't know.
a good- I
You see what I'm
like
saying? I got an
You're like,
adventure.
I'm not ready for a smoothie,
Yes.
bitch.
Okay.
Okay. Stop.
Ziggy, losing his
I know.
mind.
That was
Oh,
Ziggy's like, she's really not a gold digger after all.
no,
Like,
because I think that's
no,
it, right?
because for me, what I'm trying to say, and it can't come out right.
You're flapping
is-
your wings. What's
like-
up?
For me, it's not the purchase.
Yeah.
I mean, because I go back to that, right? Like a walk, a meet and greet. It doesn't have to be 15 minutes. Because I think if we went out, like, let's
You
meet for
could run
coffee.
off the walk.
Well, no. Like if we met for coffee, it doesn't have to be 15 minutes. Like I can talk to the
I just wanna see
wall,
who you are.
but
Yes.
just to kind of get that first introduction of you, whether it's a walk or hey, let's go, whatever.
Right.
And then you kind of know what to expect, right? Because I'm opposite of you. If I'm going to get dressed up and put some effort on and actually put makeup on, I want to know that, not that you're worth it, but I'm going to enjoy my time with
Time
you,
is the most
right? And
valuable
it doesn't
commodity.
have to be a connection or, hey, this is going to be my next person or whatever. I just want to know I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And
I do have a question. How many, with you guys on the dating app, because I wouldn't know from
I'm
experience personally, but when you are on,
Like
how
what?
many guys that y'all reach out to during the process or look at their profiles, how many of those guys use filters? Is that something that's very prevalent?
No.
Okay, so you don't have anything to worry
Wait.
about like we do.
No.
Because
You're going
I don't
after
do
them now.
apps. Yeah,
You're
I
going
don't do
after
apps.
them.
These fucking guys, you want to know what they do?
hey, it is Austin, so I don't know.
No, there's also vatos from New Braunfels, San Antonio. My,
All over.
I even expanded my search. Like, maybe
Oh.
I need to go to Dallas, maybe Houston.
That's
I
too
don't
far.
even know.
Too many
I
miles.
don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
Now that's
Jesus.
effort.
No, that,
Get on the Von Lane. Like, no,
Yes.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I know. Like,
Yeah.
the Von Lane's really
Oh,
nice.
it's great, but I don't want to transit to a date. That's transit.
What's Von? I don't know what that is.
The Von Lane's a really
It's a
bougie,
bougie
bus.
bus. It's great.
Oh. Okay.
I've taken it once.
What is it
Really?
called?
The Von Lane.
VON.
Okay.
One N? Two
Von
N.
Lane.
Oh, like a
Von
city to city bus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Oh, it's nice.
It's
Okay,
very
it is.
nice.
Yeah.
I like it. No, this is what men do. And what I think we talked about this last time. I'm 49 years old. I usually start my dating like search at 40 to 60. But what these
I
motherfuckers
can't
do.
60.
No, I know.
Mhm.
And you know what? I just went on 2 dates last week with 60-year-old men. I walked out on one,
See?
on two.
Like
I
in the
went
middle
out-
What
Like,
did they
just
do to
walk
make
out?
you walk out? You got to know. Unpack this. What's going on? What's happening?
Yeah,
What's
like-
going on?
I know, because I would never walk out. I would just.
No,
would
I
suck
walk.
it up.
I would make the determination immediately, like, is this, I told you. this
So
was
what
gonna work out
happened?
well.
Yeah, what happened that you were like, that's it. I got to get my person and
Look,
sneak out.
okay, so let's talk. We'll talk about the pictures. Do they edit their? No, because they don't know how. They're kind of not there. Like they don't know how. What they do is they grab a picture of them when they were 28 years old, and they post that. Now I have learned to look closely. I'm like, this bitch says Kodak, and it has a date on it. No, ma'am, this is old. Okay, you have to zoom in. The way you all zoom in, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
and not a cute, funky new
Right.
Polaroid. So you could tell by the
I would have never thought that. That's interesting.
yeah. So they or like when they were in the Marines, and like they had a full head of hair. Like one guy was like, "Bro, which one are you?" Like in the first picture, you have a full head of hair. You look great. You look bright and young.
Yeah.
But the last picture, you have no hair.
Mm.
Where it's
But
like
do you know
falling
the
off.
age? Like when you, because I've never done an app, but it has to say your age range, right?
Yeah,
Like-
well, and then they write, "I'm 60, not 50." So they do it for the algorithm. They alter their ages. Do you
Oh.
understand
Yeah.
what we're
Okay.
dealing with here?
I think we got to set up a 3-year rule. If the photo's older than 3 years, bye. Take some new photos.
Yes.
Well,
You got a phone in your pocket. There's no excuse.
Yeah. And
Thank
you got
you.
portrait
There's
mode.
no excuse.
You have portrait mode. You can
Yeah,
fix
you
it.
got.
Yeah.
Come on, portrait.
You have to have a friend in your
Yes.
photos. There's rules to
Yes,
photos, right? You
yes.
got to have engaging, kind of fun photos as a
Yeah.
male. And as a female, if you're with your friends, you got to have a solo photo too. I got to know who I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And like
Mhm.
easily
friends
distinguish.
Yeah.
It happens. Male, female, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, it happens.
Yeah, you're nice, but what about your friend
Yeah,
over
what's
there?
up with her?
Hmm.
Yeah. So, what would compel me to walk out?
Why did you walk out?
Because he went from like, which I normally like, he went from the app to "Can I call you?" And then he called me, and it was a real strained conversation. He started to ask me about how I felt because I am Jewish, and how I felt about Israel right now. And I think that it is a very, very, very heavy topic.
It is.
It's
And
hard
I-
being Jewish right now.
And I don't want to breach that conversation with anyone right now because it's not simple.
Nope.
And I know I know where I stand where I stood when I had a little bit of information, and now I know where I stand with a lot more information.
Yeah.
I know where I stand religiously. I know where I stand amongst Jewish people, and I know where I stand when it comes to humanity.
Yep.
And some people don't have all of those thoughts in mind. They just think like, this. It's got to be this.
Well, it's easy when it's a 15-second post on
Right.
TikTok or Instagram. It takes a long time to tell the history of the Jewish people.
Right.
And if you don't start from there, then I don't really want to. I'm also
Right.
Jewish. My mother's Israeli, lives in Haradar. Well, lived in Haradar in Jerusalem. I get it. I don't even engage.
I don't want to.
I don't want to
talk about it.
engage. I drive by. I'm like, hey, you do your peaceful protest. That's cool. So I hear you. But on a date, that's odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think
That's
about
too
that? And I was like,
That's
no,
too
Ma. I
much.
was like, I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I just walked out on a date yesterday because the guy was really heavy topic centered, and I asked him to keep it light. And okay, and then
Nope.
we talked about immigrants, and he's like, yeah, I understand there are a lot of those.
Oh, that's not an educated.
It's an
person
uneducated, and this person was a dentist. But when you do the same thing and you're in people's mouths all day long, when do you have time to actually broaden your brain? And
Yeah.
like, nonetheless, the
Yeah,
guy
ow.
was just the jokes weren't landing. He was very offensive. I didn't know how to see my way out of there. So those of y'all that say you can't get out of coffee date, you can get out of a coffee date easier. It could have been a coffee date. I was still gonna fucking walk away. He wouldn't shut the fuck up. Everything he said was very offensive. He saw my face. I mean,
And didn't
I
take
don't
the cues.
have a what's it called, a poker face. If you say something weird, I'm gonna be like that little girl in the
I
memes. So I just kept saying like, yeah, not appropriate, like not. And he kept on and on and on with stupid old white man jokes that I finally was like, you know what? Sorry, there were old white man, irrelevant, not funny, insensitive jokes.
He was just grabbing at straws to try to fill the airtime, I guess.
Yeah.
And we don't need to. Like, if it, like, okay,
That's
it
your
was a
first
great-
red flag. That's why
it
you
was-
took off and left.
Right, like it
Right.
was a great cocktail. He was bitching about South Bend, he was bitching about the traffic. ¿Sabes qué, vato? Like, you know what? I was like,
I got
I'm
a
going
question for
that.
Sean, actually, because I'm hearing this, but I'm like, how do you show up to a date with a lady and like just present your best self?
Yes.
Because
I was just gonna
I
ask.
have a method. I'm just curious how you do it.
That
You know,
was-
I qualify them before I even go out there. I've got this uncanny ability, I think, to kind of profile just their nonverbal. Just I know what I'm looking for. I know who I am, and I know what I want. And I can go through a profile just with their pictures immediately. And I'm not a guy that just looks at the pictures. I'll look at everything. And then if I may swipe 1,000 times to I don't like you to what is that, left or right or whatever. I don't know which. I don't
Left
remember.
is no,
Or the
right
heart
is
or the
yes.
X or whatever it was, right?
Uh-huh.
And then once I've found some that I thought would be, not to be arrogant, that were worthy of dating me. Sounds kind of arrogant, but
No,
it's the
it
truth.
doesn't.
Hey, at this stage in my life, it's the most important thing. I know exactly what I'm looking for. So,
But how can you tell that by a picture? What is it in the picture that tells you?
there's just a lot of
this person
deducing. I don't know.
is-
It's just something naturally
Healthy
I have.
skin,
And then what I will
yeah.
look at is, I mean, just everything, their lifestyle, the way they look, what they're looking for. I mean, are they professional? Are they not? Do they have young children or not? I have 2 kids that are grown, so I don't really want to have anybody that
Little
has
babies.
kids that are really, really young.
Yeah.
If I find somebody that I'm just head over heels for, I'll let that go. I was a great dad. So, but to answer your question, what was it one more time?
How do you present your best self knowing that they're coming at it, like looking at us, they're saying, what's he do? What's,
I
how
am
do you do
just so comfortable in my own skin.
it? Same.
I don't hide anything. I know who I am and I know what I want.
Cool.
And
Can
I can
you-
weed it out pretty quickly.
But can you read, like, for example, let's say you, and I think you do, but I'm just,
Right.
let's say you don't know he's Jewish. You didn't know I was Jewish, but
And I
let's
could-
say you
okay.
could go on a date and you bring up something that you think is gonna,
Offend.
no, it's that the whole world thinks like you. Like, I can't think of a topic, like anything, like about
So-
Russia right now in the Ukraine. Let's say you make a blanket statement. I don't find it appropriate right away, but let's say
Right.
you make a blanket statement about the Ukraine, and you can immediately see that the person at the other end is like,
Right.
Can you read people's tells, a woman's tell? Can you be like, oh shit, I might have touched a touchy subject, like she's rolling her eyes. I'm going to switch and I'm just going to talk about on the surface things like, hey, this is a cool microphone. I wonder what's made of. Like, what kind of phone do you have? Like, those are lovely shoes. Like, can we do that? Or are you going to?
I guess are there?
Do you know how to read tells? Do you know how to read bodies?
Yeah, and then are there topics that you? I always right. You don't talk religion. You don't talk financial. You don't talk right. So there are certain things, but for men, are there certain things that you just don't touch? If you, as a first conversation, right? Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids? Do you have how old are you? How are you?
I treat it less like an interview, more like a fun play session.
Yeah.
If you're not answering with a positive energy, then I know that you don't want to play, and I don't really want to hang out with you further, right?
Yeah,
right. Because we're not in the same wavelength.
Yeah, I don't like your job's cool. I love to know what you do.
Yeah.
I love to know like where you live in the city and all that stuff. But I want to know how you're engaging with your community. What are you doing to better yourself? What are you doing to have fun in this life? Because frankly, what you do is the least important thing to me.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Truly, I've dated everyone from professional dancers to politicians. It doesn't matter. But the real impact is what you're doing for the community, because that's how you're engaging with the world behind us.
Right. And that's important to you.
Yeah.
I think I work really personally hard on trying to find somebody at this stage of the journey that I am. I'm at level 52, right? So I'll be at level 53 next year. I am looking for somebody who values the same things that I value, who is kind of similar in my ideals, and that's the easy part. I think once you start funneling, the women through from based on their profile and what their presentation is, I personally am able to weed a lot of them out. I am blessed, I think, on the dynamic of building relationships and social interaction. It comes very natural and easy for me. So to ask me I would never, ever, ever, ever put myself in a position where I asked something that was a little bit risque. I would never do that in the beginning. My first meet and greet or my date's going to be about what I've read about in your profile, and I'm going to try to ensure that everything that you said is going to come, because I'm going to remember everything you text. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to see how you articulated. Was it as good as you were texting? And I just start putting everything together, and then conversation either goes really easy or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And
well, they sound like very similar responses, because pretty much what you're saying is, for me, what's important is how do you engage with your community,
and humor. I got to be able to play.
And humor, yeah.
I got to be able to play.
And you're saying the value system has to be the same. You haven't told us what your value system is, and not that it's not important, but you're saying they've got to mesh. Like, if we
got to be synonymous. We have to have similarities.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do well with a librarian who wants to stay home and read a book all day.
Why not?
Well, she's going to look good, and I'm going to probably have some good thoughts about having a librarian. But at the end of the day, I'm very extroverted, and she's
wait, no. You're making assumptions that librarians are lame.
Yes.
I didn't say that. I'm just
to all the librarians out there.
To all the librarians.
I didn't say all.
She may have
I never
like
said
the librarians probably or have a strip hole in there.
So
they're under fire,
I'm
man.
Say
they're basically like a homeless shelter now. It's a shame.
We talked about the Snap.
Libraries are under fire.
Chat, right? Mm-hmm. So I was saying, if you're going through somebody's profile, right, and you're weeding out,
right, qualifying.
I have a hard time with that, because I can put anything. I can allow you to see anything on my Facebook. So for you to qualify that way, then have you
qualify
ever
your dating profile? Not
have
so
you
much Facebook.
ever come across that it's one way on the profile, right, or whatever, wherever it is you're looking, and then you're like, hey, I'm going to give this person a shot, and then you go out with them, and it's So then maybe your qualification, or how you're qualifying is not.
Well, maybe they're not being truthful about who they are.
Well,
maybe they're presenting who they want you to think they are, not who they really are.
I just have a hard time meeting through. I don't do apps, but that's part of it, because I just feel like I can show you anything.
There's so much
I
deceit.
can allow you to see.
There's so much deceit on the app, i.e., filters.
Yeah,
I would say my experience has been 8 out of 10.
Hold up. Y'all are both bringing past traumas into your.
I've never been on an app.
You're taking girl filtered you. That sucks. I'm sorry. And what happened with your?
Nothing.
Filtered themselves.
Nothing.
Qualifications. I heard qualifications.
No, well, he says qualifications. Like, he qualifies his dates. I've never done an app because and we talked about this on the drive-in. I am not. I'm just, I can be assertive in my work. I can be assertive at home. I can, things
Yeah,
like
right.
that. But if we were at a bar and I was like, oh gosh, that guy is just, I would never go up to you. I would
Really?
never. No.
Oh, I would.
And I will flip that also. I could sit at a bar. Let's be a little dramatic, all night, and I will not get approached. I don't know if it's I have resting bitch face.
Why wouldn't you approach somebody if they're attracted and you're like, oh, I like the energy? Why not?
Because she's afraid of rejection.
I don't like
I'm
rejection.
the same.
Oh, okay. You're
That's
done
hard.
sales?
Yeah, I'm in sales. I don't mind rejection in that way. I think when it's more personal.
So what you're selling is great. You look fantastic.
Yeah.
You did yourself up real
I
nice.
guess
What's up?
so.
What's up?
Hey,
with you?
I'm like you. I can relate. Unfortunately, I
just think
I
it's
don't want to live by
shy.
what ifs, but it's the truth.
I
I would
wish I
go up.
person.
I would send a drink to a dude if I thought he was hot, but yeah, I would. I wouldn't care.
Topo Chico, please. I don't drink.
Well, I would be like, whatever he's having. send him
Yeah,
that.
I don't know what it is. And that's why I always say, like we talked about this at the other one, if I were to go out on a date, I would, sit the whole date, because I do feel like for men, it does take effort and it does take some
Sure.
courage. And, even when you're out dancing and you're like, oh God, please don't ask me. And they still do. Okay, I'll go with you one time, because I do think that the effort is there and I appreciate the effort, but
So Melissa, you're not on the dating apps
no.
and you don't ask dudes out or engage them.
No.
So
No,
what? How
Ask
are
me
you?
if I'm dating.
How are you dating?
No.
And you're
that's why.
expecting different.
I think we were talking about this. I want to meet just somebody like
But you don't even go to a farmer's market.
No,
I think you just
live
need
in
to
a
put
country
yourself in
town.
community situations, either in fitness classes.
I do. I
Yeah.
do that.
Do you go to spin?
I don't anymore, but I volunteer,
go
like
to-
in the town I'm in. I do cattle barons. So I do activities, and that's my thing. If I'm out and about,
Cattle what?
somebody, it's for American Cancer Association.
What is it? Cattle what?
Cattle barons.
What does that do?
It's a fundraiser for cancer, and so it's one big night. It's a big gala. There's auctions. There's all this stuff, and all the
Okay.
proceeds go.
That's
I'll
great.
send y'all, an invite.
One more question. So you go to all these things, you're just expecting someone to talk to you.
Yes.
Why don't you just small talk and just see where it goes? You don't have to expect, oh, the love of my life. Like, hey, love your shoes.
I do though.
How easy is that?
I do. I can small talk to anybody. I mean, stick me at the governor's mansion. I will talk to some. I have no trouble talking to people, and I think that's a big part of it. Also, too, I don't have the expectation that if I talk to you or I talk to you that you're going to be like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? It's always very just okay. We're talking. We're friends. Whatever. But I don't know what it is that I give off.
Okay, I have
That is like-
questions.
Yeah.
It's
I got
weird.
questions.
So if you notice anything, let me know.
Let's just okay. So we've just realized that one of us is really not, and I just turned off my dating app for real. Turned it off. That's it. I'm gonna have to go out there and make small talk. And I mean, I do try to go to my spin class. I do,
That's tough. It's predominantly women. It's usually
Yeah.
women in this.
Yeah.
So
and I
it's
do
easier.
I did try to do this like dance class, and that's a whole other
sounds great.
episode. I mean, I try,
Mhm.
but
I'm in the same boat.
Okay.
So I can't say.
so
Hard, right?
I have a question for you. Let's pretend you get asked on a date. You're on a date from the app. You're on a date from an app. And then how do you feel about the other person asking you, what are your love languages?
I would like to say I'm a man over action, not words. Now,
No. Do we know what love languages
Yeah,
are?
Of course.
yes.
Do we know what that is, Melissa?
Yes, we do.
Like there's a book and there's different types of languages,
Yes.
the type of love that you want to receive. It comes
Right.
with
Yes,
it. Or the type that you
affirmation,
offer.
touch.
If you're on a first date and you're on a meet and greet and the person opposite you wants to talk about love languages,
What do you say?
how do you feel?
I don't know.
What the fuck's wrong? Nobody has.
No, I'll tell you, I feel like that's an autopilot conversation. And a lot of these are like filler for actual connection.
Yeah.
And you're not going through the actual thought of trying to connect with somebody if you're asking the predetermined things.
I think it's stupid, personally. What do you think? Would you?
Hey, I learned it from the dating app stuff. In the country, we don't have those things. So I just figured like I needed to be, up to par with everybody else. So
So
I
you're
had
like-
to learn those, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's look at you. At least you
Yeah.
did the
You tried.
the due diligence. Okay, this is a really important question for me that I always want to know
Right, here goes.
I'm ready.
because I have been rejected like 8 billion times lately. and they all say like, I think you're amazing. I think you're brilliant. I think I love how verbose you are. And I think you're good looking, whatever. But I just didn't feel a connection. So what I want to know, and like we talked about last time, I'm not asking him. I'm not asking it. What does a man mean by when he says,
I don't have a
I'm
connection.
looking for a connection? What kind of, is it like this connection?
Do you have a
Is it
connection
like-
on the first date?
Like, do you actually feel it? Like, do you think you get
Very
like
rare.
butterflies
That's
in your
how I
stomach?
feel.
Like, do you feel like this chick is bangable, or do you feel like
You got to think about bangable.
Like-
you're like, I
Yes.
want to go to coffee because he wants to size me up, so he wants
Yes.
to bang me.
Yes, I
No,
never
that's
even
not
thought
true.
about that. Yeah.
Okay.
so?
that's not
You're
true.
here to defend the.
I am here to
Thank
defend
you.
the guy.
Yes. Okay.
I am here
Good.
to
Good.
defend
Good.
the guy.
I just want to know, what fucking connection are y'all talking
Is this
about?
what situation was this? A first date, third
In the
date,
very
fifth
first date, I get it all. I get it anytime I'm told, like, no, I don't think there's a second date, because I didn't feel a connection. I'm like, cerebral.
That's situation
emotional.
specific, and to posit anything different, I think is folly. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I think playing with somebody, having fun, seeing them in like a connective state or a playful open state is the easiest way
Give me
to
an example
connect.
of playing.
Yo, you got your nails there? It looks like you're ready for springtime, right?
Yeah.
You like flowers?
Yeah.
You like, is pink your favorite color?
Yes. it
So we're
is.
just talking through. This is just bullshitting.
Right.
But I'm just trying to get to know a little bit about her while noticing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's open.
My toes.
I'm,
Don't look at my
I'm
hands.
learning
I have man
about
hands
her.
right now.
Yeah. No,
Don't look at
beautiful.
my hands.
I get pedicures too. I love
Yeah,
it. It's a
yeah.
great use of your time, and it's clean. and
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Just
relaxing.
Relax.
I think have y'all ever had a connection on the first date? I don't think I ever
Rare.
have.
Men are very
Very
physical.
rare.
We're more physical than you guys are. So as far as looks, right? Maybe a little more shallow than you guys, I think.
Or
So are you just looking for physical connection?
Women's shallow too.
Oh yes,
They
there
are.
are
They
a lot
are.
of us out there. Not myself, but there are a lot
I
of,
think
you
I'm
know,
a-
If there's
like
no-
you were saying, that there's some women looking for money. That's the
If there's no
connection that,
physical
you know?
attractiveness for me, I don't really care how beautiful her mind is. That sounds horrible to say, but I want it at every level.
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to hear.
I'm kind of the opposite though. I've
That's
met
I
a
think
lot of
it
beautiful
builds.
women, and I'm
Yep.
just like, what's in here? What's in here? Like that is
Right.
where I'm looking first.
Yeah.
Frankly.
yeah.
So
But I value
So it's gotta be a
intelligence
little bit of
first. I know
both.
it sounds like a cop
Yeah.
out, but intelligence is the top for me.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
but
the
if
key.
it's intelligence with someone that hasn't had her nails done
Well,
and has split ends, and you
Are
know,
you okay with that?
if she's disheveled and not taking care of herself, she's definitely not for me. You only got one chance.
What
to
if
make
she's
You've
curing
only got one
cancer?
chance to make a first impression. Well, I don't have cancer, so it doesn't matter.
Well, what if
No.
she's in the
Whoa.
PhD phase of
What
her
if
life?
she's-
You know, like
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
I still have to be physically attracted to her as well.
What if you just caught her on an off day?
no, because that's why we have dates.
You've only got one chance to make a first impression in my
True.
book.
That's,
So
that's
okay,
what
wait,
I'm trying
but
to
wait a minute. We were talking about this earlier. We were talking about meeting people at Whole Foods. If
Yep.
Look,
But she came
I
in.
am one that will go into a market, baseball cap,
Yeah.
no makeup,
It's okay.
and I look crazy. I mean, there's on my good days that my hair looks crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
But you
I
are
have-
checking a box for me for health, for lifestyle and health, because you are in the organic.
yeah,
aisle.
but if I look disheveled and you're just like,
Well,
I mean, I hope
Well,
on a good
maybe
day I
we
clean
need
up
to
well.
make a little
You know
more
what I mean? Like,
effort.
how
while
could
so you
rolling
look like a
into the Whole Foods.
7.5 to 8 out of 10. Whatever, big deal.
Okay.
I would see
I
through
mean, if
all
she's
of
not
that.
going on
I mean,
dates.
I don't.
Y'all
She's
quit
not
talking
on
about
the
me.
app.
And you know
I don't
what?
want you to expect
The
it.
less makeup,
She's
the
got to
better.
look good at the Whole Foods.
Everywhere you go, you should look like this.
You know
Yeah.
what? That my son is like that too. So I'm in a little town, Luling. We talked about this.
The thump.
That I will go like crazy to HEB, and he's like, "Stop it! You are not going like that." I'm like, "I sure am. I mean, you know, and I'm just
Right.
going to truck my way." He's like, "You need to put it a little."
I
bit
cannot
more."
imagine the dating life in Luling.
There's none.
It can't be.
There's none. So I work in Houston too, so I've got a little bit of both. You know what I mean? But there are days that you're just like, roll it up and
Okay,
And to
Melissa, last time we spoke, we were going to come back and we agreed that we were all going to try to go on one date. Did you go on any?
no. I did have somebody ask me out, and then I just. Actually through Instagram. And you know, it was crazy because it was like months that we were, you know, texting, and I'm not really great, you know, looking at everything. But then he finally had to say, "Look, I don't know if you're understanding, but I'm interested in you." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't. I just thought you wanted to talk and be friends."
That's so cute.
Because again, my mind just doesn't. Yeah, you have to put the signs up and the hey, you know, I'm
Looky
looking
here.
for you. Yeah. I just don't. I don't know what it is.
Did you go on the date?
I did not. You
Why?
know, life got a little crazy with what's going on, and
So
We'll see.
we
Report
circle
back.
Yeah, I'll report back to you
We
guys,
circle
see how it
when we
goes.
circle back. Will you?
Yeah. I'm going to make a conscious
This is
effort.
exciting.
To do it. Yeah.
Can we?
We got a date.
Yeah.
Guys, we got a date. Like, this is big.
And I had four.
Can we
and I walked
chaperone
around
and take
too.
notes?
Yes, yeah, y'all could
Can
be
we,
by
can we
there.
be in the farthest back seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like you did this
Could
one.
we-
podcast?
Yes.
Can I
No.
refresh your water, madam?
I'm gonna be the
Yeah.
hostess. You could be the waiter.
Right,
You could be
absolutely.
the
I'm in.
bartender.
Let's
We're all
go.
like, isn't she lovely too?
And if it's not going well, you can just, I don't know, don't you have little girl signs where y'all,
Yeah.
like,
No, you're like,
you know,
yeah.
that we can come to the rescue or something?
Yeah.
It's like baseball signs.
Yeah.
basically.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Up, down, touch your crotch.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
just
we'll
kidding.
see. But yeah,
That's
I mean,
what I would do. Okay, so
so one, I need to date, and two, I need to get my shit together when I go to
Right.
HEB.
Like
I mean,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go to HEB
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
okay, so number one, what's important for the listeners and viewers to know is that I asked everyone to present as if we were all going to a middle/upper scale restaurant, right? To get ready
Get
and
an idea.
come as if you're going on a date. Now, Sean did have a different shirt, but he spilled coffee on it on the way over here.
Yeah.
But I think Sean looks
You
great
look
because
good.
Sean is wearing what Sean feels comfortable in, and I think he looks good.
Yeah.
Melissa is
This is not-
stunning,
Thank you.
and I like this shirt. I like these pants because
Yeah, you
it
look
reflects that you are athletic.
Yep.
Your shoes give us like city cool, rocker fun, progressive vibe.
Motorcycle boots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and your shirt is like fun. Your hair is
Yes.
super cool.
Yeah.
But your shirt, like, I like it because it's all everything that is we're wearing. I think we both decided on a black dress
Yeah.
just because
It's
the little
easy.
black dress
Yeah,
is
it's
always
always
going to
easy.
be the
Yeah.
go-to.
Yeah.
But good job. Just setting here. So Melissa said she'd go on a date. Can I challenge you two
He's on
to
there.
try to
He's already
pick,
saying no.
to try to pick a woman up at a Whole Foods or to a grocery store?
I'm be like holding an apple and be like, "Did you see this? Like, what do you expect happens here?"
I don't know. If you're not dealing with the
So where
app,
would you?
All right,
pick,
I'll
okay,
try.
So
Why
would you
that
pick
leads
up
it-
a
where would you pick
Wherever
up
it's
women?
natural. I don't like put the pressure on the grocery store. My produce aisle and I are very low.
So
and
when
fit.
you meet women, is
so
it
then
more
what? Like a coffee shop or,
Yeah.
or
Well,
book
one
stores?
Uber. So like when I Uber somebody, sometimes they give me their number, which is really interesting.
Do
Oh,
they?
They
nice.
sure
Do you
do.
ask or do they volunteer?
They give it.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Men, women,
I've never
couples.
done that. I'm gonna start
Really?
doing that.
The Uber stories I got for you could be a separate podcast, separate one.
Same for my Airbnb guests.
I'm sure.
So you're
Um,
kind of just at any and everywhere.
Yeah, then you
Everywhere.
touch like
It's
the whole
easy.
world.
It's
Yeah.
easy,
Okay. And have you been on a date with any of your Uber?
Yeah. Recently, I went on a date. Mhm.
How'd it go?
Fantastic.
Are you gonna see her again?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, good.
Oh,
for
nice.
Good. Maybe
I'll
we
just
need to all be
sponsor
in
another
Uber.
podcast because I can tell you right now I'm not going on any dates for a while. I just went and bought me a puppy.
Aw.
What kind?
I went and got a yellow lab.
Aww.
Truly.
So that'll
I
be
was
your.
done hiding the whole
What if you go to a dog park with your puppy? That's gonna get you a nice
Oh,
person
that
Easy.
will.
that has dogs.
That's a good
Someone that
meeting.
likes dogs is usually not a stalker.
I'll
crazy
just take the boat out. Maybe we'll just go to the party cove and look for them there. Maybe with my dog, but I probably will not
It
be
went
going.
from, like,
Probably won't be
nothing
going
to,
to
like,
the
Yes,
dog
I'm
park.
not going to
Probably
that.
not
like
going to go to a dog
chicks
park.
in bikinis.
Yeah.
A la madre.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. I was just talking about going to the grocery store. I
There's a
got
dog
normal.
park.
You know,
I just went
basic
to the
shit.
If it's
No,
an
man, I'm not going
exercise,
to the dog
I'll
park.
do it. But I'm just telling you.
Well,
it's
okay, can you
interesting
come
that-
up with a different exercise?
No,
Like
no,
a
I like it. I like it. I'll
either
go.
go to the bookstore, go to Book
Yeah.
People,
Done.
Barnes and Noble,
Easy.
and see what chicks are reading. Okay, if you see
Or
someone
just
by
try,
herself
right? And then we
without a
figure
ring.
out where, because that was kind of my thing with her. Like, where do you go? Where do you go to? Just like we were saying, you don't want to go to a bar. You don't want to go, obviously,
Yeah, it's weird being sober, going to a bar and being like, yeah,
sitting
it's
here
hard.
waiting for
Exactly.
somebody to.
That's the problem.
Well,
for
and
me,
in
too.
Austin anymore, they
Some
have
drink.
like bars with. But why do you want to go there? The
There's some good mocktails out
the
here.
mocktail, the
There
mocktail
are.
bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hydration. All right, so homework
I was
is go on
saying
a
I
date.
don't, but
That's the
Go
homework.
go on a date, but find one organically.
Yeah, no problem.
Don't. Let's not use the apps. Let's see if it's
No,
feasible.
you got it.
Okay, but should I say just the boys or all of us? No, I
I'll
think we
do
put Melissa on the spot because
She's
I'm gonna-
going, she
I'm gonna.
said.
I
You
have
said?
one. I'm gonna go.
She's
yeah.
ahead of all of us.
Yeah, but that one's been waiting. You've had that
I
one in the
know.
back burner
That's
for a
been in the
month.
box.
That's not even fair.
Oh my god. Okay,
Start
I'll
a
find
new one.
another.
Find
I'll
another
do
one.
two.
the guy
But
you
do I
go on a
have
date
to-
with probably is gonna watch this and be like, "What the hell?"
Yes, yeah.
You know,
Well, maybe he
Probably.
can invite you on the second date and then you're done.
Oh,
okay, that would count. for
That
you?
that
would
would count.
count.
It
2
would.
dates,
Like
one
if you
person.
go on, but you know, the date that you just went on with
See.
the girl from the car,
Yeah,
that doesn't count as
I
a
know.
date.
You need a new
but
one.
you can tell her that it's just part of the. If you're into her and you don't want to like piss her
we'll
off,
see.
maybe you
I
could
don't
just
know.
tell her, look, it's part of this thing that this crazy friend of mine I just met wants me to do. Right?
Doesn't sound weird at all.
Yeah, not at
Call
all.
her.
Okay.
Look,
Yeah.
watch a podcast. She's kind of okay.
Yeah, she'll probably see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
something else. I like
um,
I like you.
I think you should take the dog to a park.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna set you
I'll
up,
do that. I would do that.
and I will
I
like
would do that.
right.
Yeah.
What do we set him up?
I like it. You're like taking the energy. You're like, I'm gonna move it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna work with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
And then
because
that
I
way
don't
you
think
know it's
should
not-
Can
be-
you find somebody in the country?
A la
That's
madre.
tough.
No, she cannot. Look at her. She's
Ziggy
not.
Robin.
I love you, Deb, but she is not
I don't even
a
know
dumb
what
girl.
That was the
Or a
point. That
coachy
was the
girl.
point.
What is coerced?
Coerce.
Coetzel.
Cole
Oh,
Wetzel.
Coerce. I'm sorry. I thought you meant coerce
See,
into a
we
date.
both don't know.
No,
what
I-
that is.
Here, let me tell you about
You
that.
mispronounced it. That's
Yeah,
all I
yeah.
know.
Culture. That's all. It's all culture a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll teach you a little culture. It's all good.
Okay, I want real honest, and I think we're going to get two very, very different responses from the men. I mean, the men are on
Okay.
the hot seat today. What is the third date rule?
I've
You
never
know
heard
it?
of that.
Yeah.
Let's let the guy. What have you heard of that?
So intimacy.
That's the first date.
Can be. Not. I'm not putting
But what's
restrictions
the
on that
rule?
kind of thing.
What is the rule?
Like if you're not physically attracted to somebody by 3 dates,
Right.
you probably should move on. That's where we're at. I think. With, with 3
What's your
dates.
first date rule?
My first date rule,
Well, what did you say by the first date? What does that mean?
I mean, for me, the first date, I would never. I know it sounds kind of hypocritical, but I would probably never even consider a relationship with a woman who tried to offer, high level intimacy on the first date. I just won't.
Like the
Oh, we were just talking about
Yeah,
that.
like,
so
Okay.
that's the other thing.
Yep.
Do you, if we were talking about this on the phone, if a woman is going to sleep with you on the first date, is that something that you look forward to? Is that a turn off? Is that somebody that you're like, okay, I'll keep doing it for a while, but it's not something serious? Because I'm like, I'm not
I
dropping my
just felt
pants
like
for
if
you.
you were
You know
that
what I
easy
mean?
for
Like,
me, you were that easy for everybody else. And if I would consider you an animal, you'd probably be a porcupine. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't. You wouldn't be for me.
sweet Jesus.
What about
like it.
hold on. What about porcupine is easy? Because I'm not.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, if you had as many in you as you had stuck out of you, you'd probably look like a porcupine.
my
So
God,
that's my
it's-
point.
Perverse.
This is where I'm going. I mean,
So what about you? First, not?
I'm not gonna throw someone under a bus because like sometimes it's like it's
You
hot
feel
and
it,
heavy
you
and
feel
you
it.
feel
Yeah.
it and like you're dancing or like I don't know like there's situations where
But
I
it's
did-
But
Not
would you honestly? Okay, so I believe that could happen. I'm not going to rule it out, but
when I see her again, absolutely, 100%.
but I wouldn't. That's
you
the
see,
difference.
He would.
that I think I'm good. I think okay, I love these perspectives. I
Yeah.
really,
Yeah,
really do.
And they're so
Absolutely.
different. Y'all are very different.
But
yeah.
okay, let's see. No, that's
Sometimes
it.
people just want that hookup.
Yes.
That is
Well,
real.
I was
That
on a
happens.
date with a gentleman just recently, and he said something about a third date rule. And he's like, you know it? And I was like, no, actually, I don't. And what he said is by the third date, a woman has to give up ass.
I don't know about that.
Oh, no.
And
That's
I was like, this is your old
Yeah.
No.
That would be a
Fucking
negative no. Yes.
stupid ass.
Can I just let y'all on
boomer
the secret
thought
that y'all need to
process.
know? Y'all need to
Right.
know this.
Tell
The
me.
harder you make it for us, the more that we want you.
Yeah,
The quicker
usually.
you give it up, the game is over, the chase is over,
That's
and
what
here
I've
we
been
go.
saying.
So that'll
So,
lead
yeah.
real quick because I
It's
know we don't have
something
a lot
of
of time.
imagination, just kind of
Yeah.
like it's a dance, it's a chase.
Yep.
You're hunters and gatherers, okay? If it was so easy to like, what's left?
I only mean
Exactly.
third date. Like if you're not attracted to them by the third date, like
You
you, should
probably
probably
won't.
move on.
Then that's
Not the
friendship.
expectation of
Like,
sex
and
is
that's
a completely
friendship,
different
yeah.
thing.
You like kiss a girl by the second date or even the end of the first date. I think that's good. Like if you're holding hands and stuff, but banging on the third date.
You don't even need to touch each other as long as you're physically attracted.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think you can keep going forward.
Okay, no, I like those responses. I have one more
And
question.
there is sometimes you have a connection that amazing and that wonderful, and you've been looking for that long, and it's happening, and that may be different. You know? I would agree.
So the filial connection is different. Like for you, it's physical. For you, it's a little cerebral.
Got to dance
Yeah.
mentally, physically.
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
you gotta
all
dance.
the things. For you, like if you look frumpy,
Just because
if you're
she's
not-
hot doesn't mean she's
Right.
got to bring more to the
Yeah.
table than that. But
Okay, so the third date rules doesn't even exist. That's like a fucking boomer bullshit.
That's
over
why
here.
you let those guys go.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's why I walked away.
Yeah.
He was talking
Yeah, yeah.
and shit. Like, "A la verga, vámonos, you're out of here." Well, we kind of touched on this first date, first impressions. I mean, if you go on a first date, but we're going to now just move this discussion. The third one is not going to be about apps. I want us all to just forget the fucking apps because they just,
They don't
Right.
work.
whatever. Gentlemen, do you all have something to ask
About
any
women?
of us? Or, yeah,
Or add.
or add.
I
Or
would just
complain
say,
about, or
like, putting rules, expectations, all those things. Okay, I know that we're grown and we want certain things, but also just be open to experiences. If you have a checklist, if you're entering dating with like, he's got to have this or blah, 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 and like, oh, he's got to pay, like you've already made it transactional. Why are you surprised if that's what
If
you
it
get
doesn't happen.
back?
yeah.
That was my main takeaway from your previous episode, which
Yeah.
is y'all
Right.
spent 20 minutes talking about, is he going to pay for the date? I'm stressed. Like, blah, blah. Like you're already like not really open to the person
Yeah.
in front of you. You're worried about the outcome and like the food being paid for. And
No,
I don't
there's
know.
there are funds to pay for the food, but if they're not if they're not going to,
so I should ask you out and be like, yeah, I'll pay for the date. Then
if you ask
Yes.
me out, then yeah.
I will pay. No worries. But you're saying there's like an energy expectation, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's different, right? It might be cultural for us, and it might be just for me. I'm older. I'm in the 50s. That's how I grew up. Like that's even younger dating in my
Yeah.
20s, you know, whatever. The guy always paid. And I will say things have changed. They don't do that anymore. Like everything
man.
goes,
I do.
A real man
everything
does.
is split. Everything is, and I don't
Should
mind.
say real man
Hey, I
does.
don't mind doing it, but
First
I think
date.
that's what we were talking about. We're used to gender roles, and now there's no rule or role.
Roles.
Yeah, it's just
I'm 100% still on the gender role. Like I don't do gender fluid things.
Sorry.
I just think you're worried about extraneous stuff when you're not like the person in front of you should have your attention. Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
you're coming in talking about, X, Y, and Z gender
Yeah.
role or expectations
I
or
mean,
dates like
I'm
that.
okay, I don't-
That doesn't
Well,
like
but
Yeah.
you're
allow
not
you
a
to
female that's that, like, okay, well, I paid like, well,
to get
you
your
should-
nails done, to get your hair.
you
That's
should
why I
get
pay.
banged.
Yeah.
Like you should give it up by the third date.
Well,
Like if
that's
someone's
a
sitting
toxic
there,
male who you
Yeah.
should
if
just
someone
leave.
is sitting there,
You should leave.
Yeah.
I would agree. You get out of there.
yeah.
When does
Don't
it say
fuck
for
that.
you to give it up?
What does it say for
When
me?
is it safe for you? If it's not the third day, I'm just curious.
When do
When
you?
is it? When do
Yeah.
I feel?
I mean,
I
if you were
think
going to put a number on it,
I think when I know the individual, when I feel the time is right,
Right.
when I'm comfortable, when I
Right.
feel comfortable, when I feel safe.
right?
Most
Yeah.
importantly,
Safe
when I
is
feel
key.
safe.
That's huge.
And that's kind of. But I think you make a good point. I do think you make a good point. You're right. Maybe I was putting too much thought into who's paying, who's not, and I'm not present.
If it's bothering you that much, just be like, you got this, right? Like, it shouldn't be that complicated. Like, it should be light. It should be airy. It should be the best
Well, and
version
most
of
men
yourself.
have it. Most men will be like, "I invited you. You choose a spot."
Yeah.
Most men do.
Yeah.
But
It was on a very few, and also
But you said you didn't, right?
well, that goes back to what I was
he was
saying.
the one that said he doesn't pay for shit.
That's not true. But where the issue was is what I was saying was a meet and greet, and what you were saying was a first date. So we needed to get clarification.
Yeah,
on
meet
that.
and greet and first date are
Okay.
two things. I don't do meeting.
Like I said, I qualified them initially on the app through their articulation, through their photos, because you never know what's going to show up, at least from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know how many men have filters. I don't think too many. I'm sure some
No,
do.
they have old pictures.
But we have to deal with filters. Okay.
I get that. Okay, so we've got to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for being
Thank you.
here, y'all. Thank you for watching. And did everybody agree that we would try to find an organic date?
Yes.
Except I'm gonna try to help Sean
do
find a date.
Yeah. I got
Um,
it.
I usually don't need help.
Jesse, thank you so much for being
Thank you for
here.
having me.
Yes, Sean, thank you.
Thank you for having
being
me.
here.
It's actually a good
Melissa?
time.
course.
You guys were amazing, and thanks for joining us. If you would like to jump on here, I think we're going to try to do a live one. So I am really going to pump it up so all our friends could be
Comment too.
watching and interacting. So thank you again. Have a great one.
Awesome.